Okay, the next thing you want to do is go over the site structure and content. So we need to start with structure. Now your site is made up of different parts. You have blocks, content types, menus, and taxonomy. So let's go to blocks first. Blocks are the areas on your site where your content will reside. So let's go into blocks here. Now you'll notice up at the top here we have two tabs, one called Bartik, in this case one called 7. And those are the different themes that we already have installed on the site. So we go to Appearance here. Okay, so here are our themes, so Bartik and 7. So that's where those are coming from. Let's go back to the structure here. So the different themes can have different blocks. Okay, so this is an interface where you can move your different blocks into your different regions. Okay, so you have a header region, then you have no blocks in here. You have a help region, and we have system help in there. So this is your region, and this is where your blocks would go. So you can drag and drop blocks into these different regions. Now they're not implemented the same on every theme, so if you're going to change themes, you may have to go and change some other things there as well. And you would have to save the way you change your blocks down here after you've changed them. Okay, so down here, your disabled blocks, and you can move them into a region just by clicking over here and putting them in the region that you like. Okay, so this is what they look like for the current theme. Okay, and it's just telling you that we haven't saved it, so what we did isn't going to be saved until we save it. Okay, and then if we look at this other theme, then we may have a completely different way of things being done here. Now let's just go look at our site for a sec, and we'll be able to see the block. So this is our header block, this is our footer block. We don't have content everywhere right now, but this is our navigation block. Let's go back to structure. Okay, and then content types. Okay, so we have articles and pages, and this is the equivalent of WordPress would be posts and pages. So articles are time-sensitive things like news feeds, blog posts, and forums. Okay, and then pages are just basic pages that you can put in there as static content. Okay, so these are probably set up the way you need them, but if you go into edit here, you can get into a lot more detail about how they are set up. Okay, so we have the name of an article, description of what an article is, and then down here you have different parts of it. So submission form settings, and then you have publishing options. Okay, so published, promoted, from page, sticky, etc. Okay, display settings, and comment settings. So it's telling us how the comments are handled. And you can go and change any of these to your liking, and then menu settings. Okay, so this is just to give you a look at how these are set up, and you can go ahead and change those as well. Now, when you go back in again, oh, we went a little too far here, you can actually set up other ones if you like. So if you want to add a content type, you go into add a content type, and you'll get a screen just like we just saw. So you can give your content type a name, a description, and then you can set up the different parts of it down here. Now you can also add fields to that. Each different content type might have different fields. So let's go back here. And let's go into this one. Okay, so manage fields. And you can have different fields within the content types as well. So we have title, tags, body, images, and you can add a new field down here, field type, and widget. Now let's go have a look at let's go back up one here. Let's go have a look at the fields within a page, which will be different. So manage fields. Okay, so you see we have title and body, but we don't have any categories or tags in here. Okay, so if we want to, we can add a field and then we can give it the type in here. So it's really flexible so that you can set it up exactly the way you want. You can also set up widgets within your field type, as you might have noticed over here. Okay, and then you can edit or delete any of these ones in here that you've set up. Okay, now over here we have manage display, comment fields, and comment display. Okay, so let's manage display. As you can see, very, very flexible in the way you can set up your site content that WordPress, for instance, doesn't give you. Okay, so body has a default setting and no label. Okay, now we have comment fields. Okay, so now we have an author, a subject, the comment, and then we can add new fields if we want down here. And you see that somebody, when they were set up, they brought in their automatic settings that they were put in there for us, so we don't have to mess with it. Again, these are set up so that they're going to be what most people are going to use. Okay, and then the comment display. So it just showing comment. Okay, no hidden fields. Okay, so that is the content types. Okay, so then we have menus for navigation. Okay, so in here we have some different things. We have the main menu. This is the menu that shows the sections of the site. So often in the top menu navigation bar. Next we have management. So this will be for administration links. We have navigation. So this is intended for site visitors. And then we have user menus, which is intended for when you're in your user account. Okay, and then over here we have list links, and then we can edit menus. So if we go into list links, it's going to show you what links are in the main menu. So that's just home. Okay, and then you also have, you see the tabs up top here, you can edit the menu. Okay, and then here you can change the description within the menu name. Okay, and here you can change the description. So let's go back here. So let's look at the navigation menu. So let's go list links. Okay, so we have add content, an article or a page. We have compose tips, which is disabled, and search, which is disabled. Okay, and then we can enable those if we want, and we can edit each of the operations here. Okay, and then up here we have edit menu. So this is the description again. Okay, so basically that's it. These again are going to be set up probably the way you're going to want them by default. Drupal does a good job of giving you the options that are most likely what you're going to want to begin with, and then you can change them if you want. So if we wanted to add a link here, click add link. Okay, and then the title of the menu link, the path. So this can be something like a node ad, which we've seen before, or an external URL. Okay, and then the description, whether it's enabled. If there's a parent link down here and the weight. We didn't really go over weights, but by giving weights, you can move the order of them around. Okay, so the lower the number, the higher it's going to appear on the menu. As it says down here, the heavier links will sink and the lighter links will rise. So just by changing the number of all the links, you can change the order. So let's show the weight, comment weight. Okay, so they're all set at 0 now. Okay, so if we set this one to 1 and we save this, we're going to see add content sync underneath these other two. Okay, so now we have compose, which is disabled. And so it really makes no difference since they're disabled anyway, but if we had them enabled, we would see it change the order here. Okay, so that's how you can use the weights. Okay, next we have taxonomy. Now, this goes far beyond tags and categories. This is very, very powerful and can be very complex. Now, by default, there's already in here something called tags, and this is a free-form kind of tagging that users can put their own terms into. But you can go way further with this. You can create what's called a vocabulary. So when you create a vocabulary, you have a general term, and then you can have some group terms within there. Okay, and it gives you an example up here. For example, a vocabulary called fruit would contain the terms apple and bananas. Okay, so it gives you just an idea there what you can do. So let's add a vocabulary, and let's take a simple one like category. This is something you probably use most of the time, and then you can give it a description here if you want, but I'm not even going to bother. For category, it's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, and then you can give these weights just like I showed you before. So if you want category below tag, you just need to give it a lower weight. Okay, and then over here, we can go and add terms to the category. Okay, so there's no terms in here now, and we can add a term. Okay, so we'll say it doesn't matter. Red, give a description. Okay, the type. Okay, the text format, so filtered HTML. You can give it a URL alias here. Now, earlier we saw URL aliasing on a site-wide basis, but what we can do here is create an alias for this one category. Okay, so we could call this category red. So now we would get a custom URL category red. All right, so by putting this in here now, the term would have the URL category red within there. Okay, and then relations, this is like the child relationship, so you can set a parent and the weight for this term. Okay, and then you can create some more if you want. Okay, so let's go back to list. Okay, and there's our list within our categories. So let's go back to taxonomy. Okay, so that's a basic way you can set it up, but this can go really, really deep. You can have many child and parent relationships. You can have many different vocabularies. So it gives you a lot of power to set up the site the way you want it. Okay, so in the next video, we're going to go over content.